Hello and welcome. I'm going to show you how I paint some lovely roses from my garden. These are from my garden. This was recorded live. It's one of my many live recordings. I usually go live a couple of times a week. So if you'd like to join me, don't forget to have a look out for that. If you press the bell notification, you'll get notified when I'm on. Here I'm just using a sketchbook. It isn't even watercolour paper, it's just a cartridge paper that's good for mixed media. It's by C. Whites of Brighton. I had some really lovely clean water for this. I often forget to change my water when I go live, and I had forgotten on this occasion. So please use clean water if you can. I'm using paints. This is Mission Opera, Bright Opera Pink, and I've got some Rose d'Or, I'm not quite sure how you spell that, which is Daniel Smith as well. And I'm also using Naples Yellow from Daniel Smith. So this is just my normal little sketchbook. I just do like loosen up and just have fun of a morning sometimes, because I do like to paint every day, and this is part of my painting. So if you like this, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to sort of talk you basically through this because as I said, it was done live and I can't remember everything that I did, and if I left the normal chat up, I chat with everybody as I paint, so I don't really explain things. So this I'm going to try and explain. I started off by doing some blobby marks, as I say, and smooshing everything in together and letting the watercolour run together. It's weird when you're not using watercolour paper. The paint reacts differently, so you have to be careful of that and mindful. I just sort of, you saw me adding a bit of bleach, diluted bleach in there, because I started off being a bit tight and I like to loosen up a bit. Here, that's my favourite thing. Let it all smoosh in together. I love painting flowers from my garden, and roses are my nemesis. I always have trouble painting them, I think, anyway. So I just sort of started off with a basic rose shape and then added the little lines in the middle. You saw me using the very tip of my brush to create the centre. Now I'm coming in with some darker pinks, and you see me use lots of different colours. My palette does look a bit higgledy-piggledy. I use colours from all different things, so I just love colour. There's so many out there, you can't just have a few on your palette. I mean, go and indulge yourself. Here I'm painting the stem. I think I just used like a green gold colour, and if you mix it with a bit of the pink that you're using, it will knock it back a bit so it doesn't look so garish. And then I just start painting some really basic leaf shapes. Just watch how I paint the leaves. I just use one sort of brush stroke and then come in and add some little details to it. Adding a bit more diluted bleach. I just love like the way it cauliflowers, and especially on this paper as well, because it's not watercolour paper. It does, again, I'm going to say, it reacts totally different to watercolour paper when you're painting. So, and then I just blocked it out, and then you get some lovely highlights and things happening. I love it. Remember, when you're painting leaves and foliage, it's not all the same green. Don't do everything the same green. You need some darks and lights and brights and warms and colds. Just experiment. Because this is my sketchbook, I just have fun and I just like go for it and experiment with things. Also, a thing to remember when you're painting roses, they have a very distinct leaf shape or leaf formation. They're usually like they have one opposite each other and one at the top. So go and look at roses, go and study them, go and look how the leaves are, and then I'm not painting like a botanical study here, I'm just capturing the essence of a flower, but you need to have the basic shape, the basic leaf formation for people to understand what exactly you're painting, because you can paint a rose and pick out some of the qualities of the rose, and it can be really abstract and people will know it's a rose. So that's something to keep in mind. Go and look and study your subject well. I'm not going to talk the whole way through this because it's just repeating really what I did. I'll pick out a few areas. You can just look at the way I use my brush. I don't use the tip of the brush all the time. I use the side of the brush and I hold the brush at the back of the handle. Is it the right way? At the top of the handle? That's probably a special name for that. And I like drag it across the page to create the petal shapes of the rose. And here I'm adding in some darks and I'll keep adding a bit of bleach, and I blot out a lot as well. When I'm painting in my sketchbook, I sort of forget there's the centre spine of the book. I just forget it's there. I pretend it's not there. So you see me like painting it as it's one big whole spread page. Attempting to paint a bigger rose here, sort of face on, but it didn't really work. So no, I don't really care, because this is my sketchbook where I'm allowed to make mistakes, and I'm not being precious about it. I'm just having fun and enjoying the moment of painting and chatting along with everybody, and it's fun. But this rose definitely didn't turn out too well, but I covered it up, as you will see. The rose I had in front of me had sort of a yellow tinge to the outside of the petals, so I was trying to capture that. It didn't, I don't know, I didn't like this one, but I carried on regardless anyway. To draw your eye away from that big rose that's staring at you, I decided to add some buds and a bit more foliage around here and a couple more roses. It's my sketchbook. I do like to think about composition and that, and then I can take what I paint from my sketchbook onto a real painting, as I like to call it, a real painting, even though this is real, but you know what I mean, as in a proper, right, spangly painting that you'd put in a gallery sort of thing. I do have fun doing my live chats of a morning, live videos, so please see if you can come and join me. Normally it's 7:30 a.m. GMT. I always want to say GMTV, but it's GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. And occasionally I'm trying to start one a bit later, which is at 4:30 p.m. GMT. So normally I do them Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I haven't been doing them lately because I haven't got back into it, because it's really dark in the morning and it's cold in my studio, so I've been up in my bedroom and I can't do them live because I wake people up otherwise, which isn't good. So when everything starts getting a bit warmer and spring starts springing, I'm there with flowers from my garden, because I have a massive garden with lots of flowers and it's fantastic, and I paint from there. So we have fun chatting and painting. People paint along with me. We talk about the weather and odd things and everything. So please think about joining me for that if you can. It's great fun. also something that I've started this year, which is going so well. I'm really like pleased and happy with what's happening there. I have a Patreon, and we have exclusive videos there where I talk you through exclusive tutorials step by step, a bit like this, but with more information of stuff and newer stuff and things that I'm working on. I set a project every month. Oops, sorry about that. January was, what was January? We're still in January whilst I'm videoing this, but January was like textural spring flowers, and I've done some lovely teasels and things. So yeah, and next February's project is actually textural landscapes, which I love doing. It's another thing. So I set a project each month, and we have like, you can see behind the scenes, and I do like little videos for everybody and lots of pictures and things. So think about joining that. It's cheap, and you get loads of classes. You get all my old classes I've ever done as well, so that's a Brucey bonus. Anyway, back to my painting here. I'm adding in some more leaves just to make the composition better, if it can be, and covering up that flower that I didn't like. Here I'm just adding a few little dark greens in just to add a bit more depth to the composition, and I think I'm done. I think this is quite nice. I really love the buds down in the left hand corner. They're really nice. It sort of takes your eye away from that big pink splodge, as I call it, of a rose that didn't. The rest are like buds, but I was quite happy with it, and I thought they were quite pretty. I've advanced on my rose painting. Before, I just couldn't paint roses to save my life. Anyway, please give me a thumbs up if you like this, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really hope you enjoyed this. See you soon. Bye.